Whenever a program takes that big leap to prominence or we see a traditional power get resurrected, it's always a team effort. But there are some significant individuals who've helped along the way. Now, when looking at Tennessee's run this year and their first appearance as a legitimate contender in some time, it would be crazy not to notice the contributions of quarterback Hendon Hooker. And after it was announced that his season would end due to a torn ACL, I thought it was only fitting to highlight his part in bringing the Vols back to national relevance. Now, his outstanding play this year was not only surprising, it gave hope to a fan base that had been down and out for a while, hadn't beaten their rivals in what felt like a millennia, and let head coach Josh Heupel not worry about the most important position on the field as he put the pieces around him. Not only did he live up to the hype this year, he exceeded it. Through almost 11 games, he threw for over 3,000 yards, 27 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions, and had a QBR of 89.6. And to put that in perspective, perfect is 100, average is 50. But his biggest contributions was his leadership. He stepped up in big games and was a hell of a role model on and off the field. Now, while the Vols won't be winning a national championship or the SEC championship this season, he left a roadmap for the next guy, and it showed it could still be done on Rocky Top. So I want to personally congratulate Hendon on a great career, both on and off the field. I'm going to bring in former Michigan quarterback, former Heisman candidate, and potential turkey cooking savant, thanks to his mother-in-law, David Cohn, my brother.
Used car salesman.
Western State.
Rick
Colorado.
Thompson, how you doing? We got a Mitsubishi in the parking lot.
That's exactly right.
All right.
You're the Victor Chouse of the show.
I love the stash.
Guys, you know, it's sad to see Hendon go out with a torn ACL like this, and you know South Carolina just beat them to a pulp, and we're going to get into that. But it was fun seeing, and it's good for college football, as much as Blaine makes fun of me for saying that, seeing a team that hasn't been relevant, that has the loyalty in the fan base, that has the resources and the tradition of Tennessee get back to where they're at. It's a good kind of changing of the guard a little bit, and it's good, like I said, for the game overall. But, you know, as good as Hendon was on the field, and this was a common case, or not really a common case, but a case of the perfect player coming in at the perfect time in the perfect system with Josh Heupel, Hendon Hooker, and Tennessee. And so I know Tennessee fans, it didn't end up how you wanted it, but look at recruiting, what it did for it. Look at the atmospheres with College Game Day. You beat Alabama finally. You beat Florida finally. I know you're upset this week, and you should be upset. I get it. The way they played against South Carolina was unacceptable for the position that they're in. But don't allow that to not let you see the beach through the forest. Tennessee is back competing. Tennessee is no longer a joke. They're no longer a doormat. And if you're on Rocky Top, you ought to be singing Hendon Hooker's praises this week, as hard as that sounds.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, 48 hours ago, Tennessee fans thought that they could still make it to the college football playoff, perhaps win a national championship, and Hendon Hooker could still walk away with the Heisman Trophy. None of those things are going to happen now, and Hendon Hooker will miss the rest of the season. But, man, this kid is an absolute star. And I'm not talking about just on the field, somebody who played great football, but who had character issues. On and off the field, he's represented this state and this program to the highest of his capabilities. And just like you said, this is a program for 20 years, ever since Philip Fulmer was gone, has struggled to find an identity as a school. You've had NCAA sanctions. You've had, hadn't been able to get those top recruits in while Georgia and Florida and Alabama and these other schools have had success. What's happened this season is still very, very special. And I think that this will start to be the new baseline for Tennessee. At least I hope so as we move forward. And Hendon Hooker will always be a special part of that rebuild, and he'll never be forgotten in this state. Also, to the touchdown to interception ratio, I just have to say this. Did you say, so 29 touchdowns to 2 interceptions?
27 to 2.
27 to 2. And he's not the only one.
QBR.
Caleb Williams is even more than that right now. Drake, man, I just have to say something real quick as a quarterback. It used to be when I was playing, if you were 3-1 in touchdowns to interceptions, that was really good. And if you were any more than that, like 4-1, you were just legendary. If you threw 40 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. What these kids are doing these days, you throw 27 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. It really is magnificent. And you can talk about game planning or, having like an air raid type offense, West Coast system where you're not throwing the ball downfield. I don't care if you're throwing it from me to you.
Yeah.
That few interceptions.
To put that in perspective, that's like 9.5 to 1.
It's unbelievable.
It's incredible. Look at that, especially with the way defenses nowadays are able to disguise coverages and do different things. And game planning is so elevated now with the way film's able to get spliced and broken down. It's not even spliced anymore, it's cut. But Blaine, you know, we look at quarterbacks in the transfer portal, and you see some good and some bad. This is a case of the transfer portal, a episode of good from the transfer portal, you could say, coming from Virginia Tech, where you make that move to Tennessee. You're behind Joe Milton, who just closes his eyes and throws it as far as he can, and you come in and you're able to help resurrect a program like this. Just overall, your thoughts on Hendon?
Well, the thing about Hendon Hooker, one is, I mean, he's been beating the odds since through high school. I mean, he was at Virginia Tech, he was a backup, had to win a starting job. Then he moved to transfer to Tennessee, was a backup, had to win the starting job. I mean, not only a great football player, y'all mentioned, just a great leader of men. Never heard anything, any problems coming out of Hendon Hooker. What a guy to watch. And this is the type of a player from 5 years now, 6 years from now, who laid the foundation, was one of the bricks who laid the foundation to get you where you need to be. And you can see Tennessee, you see the excitement behind it. You hate to see it. Hendon, get healthy, man. I can't wait to watch you play in the NFL, dude, and have you on my fantasy team one day.
Will he have success in the NFL?
I think so.
It's hard to me, you see the talent. I think it's hard for a guy like that not to have success with the way he operates. Now, will he be a Pro Bowler? Will he be what Bryce Young may be or Caleb Williams may be? That's going to be a little bit tougher. I think the system was perfect for him as well. But, I mean, Hendon has shown the ability to affect all three layers of the field throwing it. Obviously, we know from an IQ standpoint, it's really high, and he's agile enough to move and extend the play and things like that. So I'm going to be very interested to see it. I hate he's not able to go to the Senior Bowl. I hate he's not able to be able to get those important practices in to maybe move up that board a little bit, but we have not heard the last of Hendon Hooker. Hello, people of YouTube and of Earth. Make sure you take a little time. It's Thanksgiving week to go hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, click that bell for all notifications. We got a ton more content coming. Make sure you check it out.